Well, just got done doing my live video, and I started out with yelling about. I was very angry. I still am because I can't believe the world is as stupid as it is. But anyhow, started out with Hegseth, basically saying that we're gonna fight whatever war we're in without restrictions, which means no moral compass involved in it, no Geneva Convention. We'll commit all the war crimes we want to, and there's nothing you can do about it. That should be a war crime, saying that. But it's basically a really big thing that the Trump administration is proving itself to be more dangerous than any of us ever thought. You know, and the morons that he's put in charge of things that go along with his whims or develop their own whims, and it's these Hitler-esque people that wrote the Project 2025 that are in the background. They need to be removed from power by whatever means necessary. I know I don't like to say that because people start to think it's, I'm condoning violence, which I'm not. All right, violence doesn't solve anything. Wiping them out won't solve anything. But I think we need to do something. Anyhow, that being said, there's a movie. You know how I like to compare history, the movies, to what's going on today. Well, there's a movie. This was an article in Rolling Stone magazine. It's a newsletter called The Latest, which I get every day, and it's got music and other news and stuff in it. Politics and a little bit of everything. It's like my website. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Well, that's basically what that's about. And of course, Lucy's getting to become very depressed lately. I may have to give her some Xanax too. But anyhow, what it says is, the article says, did we learn nothing from watching War Games? Now, what War Games is a 1983 movie starring, I believe, Matthew Broderick, and it's about a supercomputer and a real smart kid, okay, which I think is Matthew Broderick. I'm not sure. All right, I don't remember. I remember the movie. It was one of my favorite movies. It still is. It's just a really weird but very correct idea. This kid is a hacker. All right, he's got his girlfriend and he's trying to change her grade. She refuses, so he goes in and he stays in there and he's playing and he's hacking, and he comes across this. I don't know if he realizes that it's the War Department or whatever, but anyhow, he comes upon this game site, and there are all these games, tic-tac-toe, naval warfare, all this other crap. But he chooses to play the last one on their list, thermonuclear global war, or global thermonuclear war, something along those lines. Anyhow, and he's playing this game, and he sets it in motion, gets the computer to play this game. I don't know what the computer had a real name, or it just calls it WAP or something like that. I don't know. But anyhow, and it starts to play the game. Now he walks away from it, shuts everything down, and thinks that's it. It's still playing a game. Okay? With some disastrous predictions and what have you. All right, all the missiles in the world are aimed at each other, and all of them are armed, and all is getting prepared to launch. Now, I forgot how they got it to play the game without actually launching the missiles, but the missile codes for the U.S. nuclear missiles are going up on the board, and it's running through billions of combinations of numbers until it comes up with the various numbers that they need. And I think there's 5 of them. He has to come up with 5 different sets of numbers. And it's running through this. Meantime, the computer's playing the game. And he's showing these launches. Who launches first, you know, and then who retaliates. There's a whole bunch of scenarios. Who launches first? What happens? The scenarios after that. Who launches second? Scenarios. What happens? And you come out, and it keeps constantly playing the game and constantly doing this over. And one thing you're noticing as you're watching this, nobody's winning this thing. You know, it's just total destruction. Nobody's winning. And that's been the premise of mutual destruction, you know, for a long time. That's one of the reasons he said we don't have a nuclear war, because we result in mutual destruction. But now we've got an idiot who wants to put this AI in control of our American armies and whatnot, so that, you know, they'll just do what they're supposed to, and we won't have to lose any men, and, you know, the Americans will be 100% behind this, and it's gonna, you know, no big deal. Follow along with this. So eventually the computer comes to its senses and says, the only way to win this game is to not play this game at all, because there is no winner. Nothing but total destruction. And the scenario plays out on the on this big, huge screen behind the computer, and everybody's sitting there watching it. You know, it's a war room, and they're watching the scenarios play out, and they realize that there's no way. There is no way to win it. You can't win this game. So they stop. And theoretically, that means there's not going to, you know, be this thermonuclear war. And he comes back on and he says, Professor, the computer comes back and says, Professor, would you like to, that's when he says the only way to win at this game is not to play it at all. And then he says, Professor, would you like to play a game? And he says, tic-tac-toe. Now, you remember playing tic-tac-toe when you were a little kid. Tic-tac-toe was introduced primarily, I'm not sure exactly what the reason was, as an impossible problem for computers or something, I don't know, but it's basically young kids play this game because there's no winners. You can't dominate somebody unless that person is has psychological problems. Because it's a game doesn't have winner. You play. If you do everything the way you're supposed to do it, you play to a tie every game. Unless you make a colossal error. That's like 2 chess masters playing. The reason one wins is because one makes a colossal error. But basically, you don't make an error, you're gonna end up in a tie, which is a great game for kids to play because it's good for their self-esteem. So that's how the movie ends, you know. But it also brings up the article also brings up what happened with the Terminator. Now, in the Terminators, around the time this movie came out, Terminator movies I think were out too, but right around this time, Bell Labs developed what they called a learning chip, a chip that learns from its mistakes. And that was, in one of the Terminator movies, that's what they went back in time to try and get, was that chip. Because that chip was responsible for the artificial intelligence, and the artificial intelligence being able to take over the world. The artificial intelligence takes over the world that doesn't seize control of the weaponry. It might do it in the Terminator, but it doesn't seize control of the weaponry. Technically, it's given to them, you know, by humans. It's what happened in the first movie like that, Colossus, which is from the 60s, I think. It was black and white, I remember that. About a supercomputer the size of a small office building, you know, which was what UNIVAC was. You know, that was what scared people about UNIVAC, and that was based on UNIVAC. But UNIVAC wasn't quite self-determining as Colossus was. Colossus decided he was given the job of protecting the planet, and in order to protect the planet, it had to remove the human race, because the human race was the greatest threat to the planet. And scientists today will still tell you that. You know, be careful if you type that question into a computer, though. But that's basically what the answer you'll get is the human race. We are our own worst enemy, and that's been a statement troops have made about war for years. Countries have talked about this and said that, you know, that it's just a disastrous thing. Oh, man. But these such scenarios are coming faster than we want to, because Hegseth wants that. Hegseth wants to turn the military over to artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence will go out and fight without a conscience, without rules and regulations, and will just, you know, and America is going to be the top country in the world. I don't know about that. I don't think once you turn artificial intelligence loose, I don't think you can turn it off that easily. Not impossible, but it's not going to be easy, because artificial intelligence will do what is necessary to protect itself. You know, that's what people don't understand. Once it reaches what they call a sentient, or I forget what they call it, the actual term they use. I want to say sentient. It will protect itself no matter what against enemies. And the enemies aren't out there. The enemies are sitting in this chair right now. You know, us. Oh, people. Hegseth is an extremely dangerous individual, as is Trump right now. They're much more dangerous than I ever thought they could be. They've exceeded it. You have guys like Musk and whatnot that are pushing this artificial intelligence. You had the one company that refused that will not give them the codes to use for the military and whatnot, so that the military can use it that way. You know, and I forget, the Anthra something or another. So they turned it over. They're giving it to Chatbot. Chatbot is Musk's. I'll blow up the world for you, honey. Don't worry. By the time these idiots, who apparently are supposed to be brilliant minds but lack all logic, as far as I'm concerned, and I don't understand how you can be brilliant and so illogical at the time. By the time these people realize what they're creating and the extreme possibilities that aren't creative but are destructive, it'll be too late. It'll be Terminator 12 or whatever it is, number Terminator movie it is, all right? And War Games 2. And Colossus 2. It's all out there, folks. So listen, I know you hate listening to me, but that's all right. I'm not saying that these things will definitely happen. I say that they are happening. Everything that's needed to make these things come true is going on right now. So be scared. Try it. And it's time we did something about it, but I don't know whether we can, because we disagree too much on everything. Well, anyhow, that's it for me today. I already put up my live video, and I'm done with this one, and I will talk to you guys mañana. Hit that subscribe button if you like more bullshit like this, all right? And we'll see you tomorrow.